What's good, everybody? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. That's crazy. I straight up got a YouTube channel. Well, I've been had a YouTube channel, but I'm finally starting to do more content that I like. Kind of letting y'all more into my world, since I have been told that I never do that. So, I'm trying to work on that. Anyway, happy Valentine's Day. Valentine's, however you mispronounce it. Happy Valentine's Day to you. Happy Single Awareness Day to some. Well, today I am letting y'all a little bit more into my world, into my home actually, into my relationship just a little bit. Y'all know I don't do nothing like this for real, so on one hand, don't make me pay for it, like being weird, goofy, and just like invasive, you know what I'm saying? But on the other hand, like I say with music, merch, content, anything, if it's something that you are rocking with, something that resonates with you, give me that feedback, interact with it, take them numbers up, subscribe, like, comment. That pushes me in the algorithm so we can get some other watchers, you know what I'm saying? So we can get to the money. With that said, about to go find Kai. I believe she's downstairs so we can hop into this video. Do people still like, I've always wanted to do that, so I'm gonna do it. Alright, yeah. Hey!
Happy Valentine's Day. Or Black History Month, I mean.
Period. Because Valentine's is one day.
Period.
And we got 29 this year. You ready?
Yep.
Let's get into it. So we're going to go ahead and jump in. We're playing a card game called the Couples Edition. We also have the Family Edition and Friends Edition. We love this brand. They're cards that are genuine conversation starters, but not regular ones. Like, you go deep immediately. We do recommend the brand. I would say do the Couples Edition after you probably been logged about 2 years. I'm not gonna lie, cause
yeah, it's deep.
Yeah, it's pretty deep. But you want to tell them how we're playing? Because we're not playing how we normally play.
So how we're playing tonight is we're each going to have 3 cards. And we've chosen them ourselves. So we know what they are, but the other person does not.
Yeah.
We're going to ask back and forth. And it kind of makes it a little...
It's risky. Yeah, it's risky.
Without the other person knowing, we're just gonna get into it. So
we've chosen our own cards. The other person does not know what they're gonna be asked for the first time on camera. So,
right.
So each reaction is a genuine reaction.
So let's do it.
Also, disclaimer: Sophie is going to be in the way. This is her world. We're just living in it. So
this is her home. This is.
Stop licking me though.
Everything.
Stop licking me though. So I'm just saying. You about to lick me for an hour.
Bed.
Go.
Bed.
Go to your bed. Go to your. She ain't make it.
Go to your bed.
There you go. Good job. Good job.
All right, y'all. So we're going to get into this, but stick around because we did have y'all submit some questions.
Some of y'all was tripping.
We, got a lot of questions from y'all, kind of wanted to know more about us.
So, a little Q&A, if you will. A little
Q&A. We will have that at the end. So stick around to the end and we will talk about y'all's questions.
Period.
Am I first?
Yes.
Okay. So, tell me about the first time we met.
It's a lot of ways I can answer that. Man, I had a question about that. It's cool. Mine's a little different. The first time we met?
Mm-hmm.
Which layer do you want me to tell?
Whichever one you want to tell.
Okay. Well, this.
You could do so. You want.
Okay. What was the question? Can you read the question again? I don't know why I'm acting nervous.
Oh no. Tell me about the first time we met, and I'll leave it there for you.
The first time we met was at Starbucks in Smyrna, Tennessee. I was late.
Mm-hmm.
So
she was.
Yeah. I was nervous. I was nervous because we had already been... Okay, so a little backstory. So we met online. We met on an app called Her in 2018. November 2018.
November 2018.
And I randomly downloaded the app, matched with one person. This is a true story. Her, if you want to pay us, you can pay us, because this is not a lie.
We will take your call.
I'm saying I matched with one person, and I once we like exchanged numbers, I deleted the app. So we conversed for a couple weeks, a little over a month. But our conversations, it was those conversations like, you gotta go to bed, but you won't. But you gotta go to bed. Like, you laying with your legs on the wall. Like, it was like those kind of conversations. Like, so we had already conversed about so much that the only thing I was nervous about is like, what would we have to talk about in person? Because we talked about so much. Anyway, we met. I was a little late. Did you pay for my coffee? Mm-hmm. She asked me what I wanted. Had the coffee there, and
because I was smooth. Okay, first of all.
All right. We sat down, and I think we talked about our days, and we just acknowledged, like, man, I thought I would be nervous, but I'm not nervous. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And I don't remember what we talked about.
I honestly don't either.
This is like an anticlimactic answer, honestly.
I feel like we talked about our days, but I don't feel like we talked about anything like super significant.
No.
Or like, it was just nice to be in person.
Right.
And like the feels that we felt.
The vibe was still there.
It was still there.
Yeah.
So it was just like, I felt like I was just floating through it. Like,
yeah. It felt very light.
Yeah.
Yeah, it felt very light. And it didn't feel like, this is what I appreciated, it didn't feel like it had to be something.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like any pressure. And I feel like when we were just starting to hang out, that's each day we realized we wanted to hang out again. It wasn't anything that was just like, okay, so what is this? It just was never that energy. So let's get juicy. Okay, staying on that topic, I had something.
Okay.
Am I different than you imagine I would be when we first met? It's a good question, man.
That is, can you lay that?
Yeah, I can lay that down right there. Am I different than you imagine I would be when we first met?
Yes and no. And I say that because
Elaborate for
I
the
feel
people.
like I'm getting there. So I feel like I say no because I feel like in our conversations, I feel like you were genuine. I feel like you were yourself. Like,
period.
I feel like I've never seen you like switch with me.
Right.
I'm
nervous. Keep it real.
I feel like in terms of like, I think I'm thinking more of like how you've evolved. Cause I feel like,
I mean, you can answer that however you want to.
I feel like you've evolved so much as a person from when we first started communicating. I mean, yes, you are still your authentic self, but I think that at the same time, I think that I feel like I'm experiencing like a more evolved version of you. Like, this was some time ago that we met, right. You know what I'm saying? So
wow,
you've also like grown up in a lot of ways. And I feel like I don't know, it's the same and different. Like, you're still Janisha, but you are like Janisha 2.0.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah,
I'll take that.
Yeah.
All right, what you got? Let's get into it.
Ooh, this is a good one. This is a good transition one. Are you ready?
Let's see.
What would you be doing differently if we were not together?
I'll be working a lot. I ain't gonna hold you. I feel like that's such a
You
shallow.
already work a lot though.
Yeah, but Kanye going out of town next weekend. And what was the first words I said when you told me you was going out of town?
You about to work or something?
So I'm gonna work all weekend. Like, I would definitely be working a lot because I wouldn't have to be as balanced. But I feel like that's such a shallow answer. What would you be doing differently if we weren't together? You know, the reason I guess I'm having a hard time answering that for real, because I feel like we really do structure our relationship to be about two individuals. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I do what I want to do. Like, I'm able to put my goals first. Like, if I want to go somewhere, I go. Like, I obviously don't disrespect my relationship. Like, come on, like,
I do what I want to do. Like,
come on.
No,
like,
I know what you mean.
I don't play those games. But you know, in terms of what would I be doing differently, there's nothing I would be doing differently. Like, I will say this: before I got with Kaya, right before I got with Kaya, I set myself down for like 8 months. 8 months exactly, actually, where I didn't entertain, talk, date nobody. So I feel like coming from a place where I was already settled within myself, I'm really just growing as an individual in this relationship. So I feel like even though it seems like a shallow answer, the only thing I would do is probably work more, which is not healthy, but you know, that's probably what I would do. I'll take more solo trips. I would take more solo trips. But you thought that was gonna be a juicy one?
It's just a good transition,
I guess.
To get more.
I feel like, I don't know, maybe I'm boring. Here's one.
Okay.
This one of those ones too. When was the last time you considered ending this relationship, and why didn't you? 2 parts. When was the last time you considered ending this relationship, and why didn't you? Oh, we getting into it. Tell the truth. I probably won't even know when the last time was, so I'm about to find out with y'all.
Tell the truth, shame the devil. Okay. Honestly, it's been a while. I'm be real. It's been a while. It's been at least like 2 years.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, and I say that because I'm sure everything doesn't come out your mouth, so.
It's been like 1.5 years because I feel like our breakup was like 1.5 years, 2 years ago.
That was the last time you considered?
I would say maybe slightly after we got back together, because I still was in slight context.
I didn't know that.
Although we have been together, like, you know, for a while, we did have a breakup.
6 months.
It was a 6-month breakup that we had.
It was a
breakup, not a break. It was a breakup.
Break.
And we got back together, and like
6 months later.
6 months later. So that's why I say context for this.
So after that,
so it was slightly after that. I feel like I was still in a space of being fearful, avoidant. If y'all don't know what that means,
learn your attachment style.
Please learn your attachment style, because I feel like that.
Phase?
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
I mean, I love you.
Shush.
I love you, but my God.
I will say, like, as a fearful, avoidant attachment style, or FA for short, we have a tendency to swing. We have a tendency to leave relationships very quickly. And I was still very much in that. And it was kind of like a little bit of like that, but also like, am I ready? I didn't know if I was like ready for all that, like even the breakup like would bring to our new relationship, like
because that was a lot of
the waters that we had to wade in, like it was a lot. And so I feel like a part of me was like, did I rush into this? Am I ready for this? Like, is this truly what I want? And I feel like in that space, like I did have a moment where I was like, I don't know if I can do this. Like, I don't know if I want to continue. But I feel like I kind of had to sit with myself and ground some of those things, and knowing that like I chose you for a reason. Like, you are my person. Period. And because of that, like, you know, because of our history, you know, things aren't going to be pretty right now. Like, and I have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable in this space. So
stick in there.
Yep.
Till the good times come back around.
Yep.
I feel like we had so much healing to do, and I didn't realize how much healing I had to do also. My therapist told me, shout out to you. I ain't gonna call your name out because too many people be trying to come book you already. But she was like, if y'all get back together, do I think it can work? Yeah. Do I think you're healed? Not at all. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's a story for another day. Like, we already determined that, like, that is something we want to open up about. Like, we're not ashamed of any parts of our story, but this video will be way too long. This game will be over. Part 2 maybe another time. Okay, who turn is it? We rolling. We might as well do 4 questions. Okay.
How do I love?
Let me hold that, because there's so many ways I can answer this. Dang, I ain't trying to get all emotional. There's so many ways I can answer this. All right.
She's stumped.
I ain't stumped, baby.
Okay,
I'm trying to see where to pivot to first. You show up. That's a huge part of how you love. I feel like regardless of, you know, what career or like creative path, friendship, family relationship, romantic partner, like regardless of what you're sharing yourself with, you always show up and you show up fully. And that was a lot of healing for me because you're very consistent in that. Man, you just really walk the talk. Is that right? Walk the talk, yeah. If you say it, like, you can test me on it, not in a weird way, right? But you can kind of like, you can lean back on it, like you can put your weight on it. I'm gonna be real. I am not a person who trusts easily at all. Is that true?
That's very true.
Man, just even allowing you to be there for me. So when you say you're there, when you say you have my back, I struggle to receive that because you've shown it to me. I've struggled to receive it. And I feel like it's really been in this last year we've been together that I've actually allowed you to support me. It ain't even pride for me. I just think, you know, I come from a large family, you know, and I've been in Nashville by myself since 2009. So I've had to adapt an attitude of, if I'm gonna have it, I gotta get it for myself, you know. So I feel like having you come into my life and prove that you are who you say you are and you love how you say you love has been a major game changer. And I think a part of me didn't want to be vulnerable to that. You know what I'm saying? I think I had a twisted kind of worldview on that. Kind of like, I'll become independent. I'll become codependent. No, I didn't mean to say independent. I'll become dependent on it, or codependent, or enmeshed, when in actuality, in relationships, you are supposed to be interdependent. You know, you're supposed to be able to count on your partner. So you brought me a lot of healing in that. I've never questioned your love for me. I feel like even when we broke up, I looked you in your face and I was like, I know you still love me. You know what I'm saying? I never questioned it. So yeah, you love fully. You love by showing up. If you got it, I got it. You sacrifice. We're truly teammates. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like we've been very intentional in allowing the other person to be, because we the same way with that. We allow each other to be teammates to one another, and not feel like we got to figure it out ourselves. So, like I said, it's a million ways I can answer this. So, just let that be. I mean, you know that's true. You know that's. I feel like I like scratched the surface for real with answering that. So,
A little teary-eyed.
it's my turn.
Yep.
I love this question. All right. If for some reason I lost my memory, you sad? Oh! Y'all, she ready to cry right now.
I'm about to cry already.
It's okay.
Okay, go ahead.
First of all, my memory is.
I know,
out of
but
this
go
world.
ahead.
All right. No, y'all, her eyes really teared. Like, she's ready to cry. Like, her eyes are so teared up right now.
Go ahead.
All right. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
If for some reason I lost my memory, what's the first thing you would tell me about us? It's a good one, ain't
I'm
it?
about to cry.
I know you're gonna cry. It's okay. It's just a card.
I know, baby. Just
I have to hold her hand off camera, dog, because she's crying.
If for some reason you lost your memory, what would be the first thing that I would tell you about us? I would tell you how inseparable we are. Like, how deeply we love each other. unconditional our
Facts.
love is for each other.
Facts.
How we walk each other home whenever we're having, hard
Okay.
times.
You trying to get me?
Personally having difficult times, together having difficult times, how we are committed to walking each other home and making sure that the light is on.
Okay, you getting poetic, trying to get
So
me.
that's what I would say about us.
That was good. That was
Love you.
good. I love you too. Okay, so that's number 4.
This is my 4th one.
Okay. I got it. Okay.
I have a couple left, but
It's cool. We can end at 4 because we still got the Q&A segment.
why are you still with me after I broke your trust?
No.
And
Wow. Let me hold it. I need something to look at. Why are you still with me after I broke your trust? Because you rebuilt it. And that is not easy.
Really, it's not.
That is not easy.
It is.
Again, I'm not trying to cut corners on the concepts, but I mean it's so many layers to that 6-month period where we weren't together, and we don't want to cheat you guys out of that story. So like I said, we'll circle back around for it. Like, you have our word on that. But man, I was already a person who suffered with abandonment issues, and I felt I was abandoned in our relationship. I'm okay, baby. you know how, and my friends have said this too about like previous partners they've had. Like, man, I done had some people do me dirty, but that person, I at least know they would never do me dirty, and somehow you end up putting that person on like a pedestal. And I feel like I definitely had you on a pedestal, you know what I mean? And that was healthy. That was healthy for, neither one of us to have each other on a pedestal, to have that kind of reset. But to stick with answering this question, man, I feel like the main heartbreak that I dealt with is like, dang, you would do me like that? You know what I'm saying? And just to be clear, when nobody cheated on her like that. So like,
Kill
we've never walked that road.
Yeah.
It was a what's the word I'm looking for?
Non-negotiable.
Yep. It was a non-negotiable for us to be together, and for me to always make her pay for breaking our relationship the way she did. I wasn't going to do that. I wasn't going to be bitter and make her, bitter just because, she felt bad at any rate. But yeah, I feel like you were willing to rebuild it. She wasn't really willing to be a punching bag. She wasn't willing to wade in. Okay. She wasn't willing to, wade in my unforgiveness. Nothing like that at all. We took a very, very healthy route back home, and our therapists were heavily involved. But with that said, like, you were willing to stand 10 toes down and say, hey, I know I broke your heart, and I'm committed to whatever that rebuild looks like. And that was a game changer. I don't know if I've ever had anybody, even outside of romantic sense, take accountability to that degree. We were friends first. We just hung out with boundaries and all of that. Then when we felt we were healthy enough, and we talked to our therapist, y'all see a pattern here. Then we tried dating, and we fell back in love. But we fell back in love with we fell in love with the people that we had grown into, which was the major game changer. No parts of that old dynamic that even put Kaya in a position to feel like she had to exit the relationship. Like, we had really let all of that die, and we built something different. So I feel like trusting myself, man, I'm gonna have to edit this answer down because it's so long, but it's also it's meaty. Trusting that I could show up differently, and trusting that you could show up differently, witnessing your growth and your consistency, had to try it again. You tried it with this one. All right, one more.
Okay.
How have your feelings for me changed?
That's a weird question. Definitely would say that they've strengthened. I feel like with the test that we've had, I feel like we've said this before, but like it's like we get closer each time. Not on no like trauma bonding shit, but like
No.
But it's almost like falling in love with like who we are
In this
season, like with ourselves and with who we are together, like seeing how better we get with conflict resolution, like seeing how much more we see each other in this relationship, like how much more we hear each other, like how our communication overall has grown, like how you know, our just relationship dynamic has like strengthened over time. I feel like that's also made me like fall even more like for you and like for us, like and yeah, I love it.
That kind of like fosters like so much more security. And I feel like this ain't even my question to answer, but I'm gonna chime in. Like, I feel like one thing that on our last date night, like when we asked, I think it was like the top of January, and we asked like, what's one thing from last year? What's one way that you feel we've grown from last year that you want to bring over to this year?
Yeah.
And we both had the same answer, but like for different reasons. And we've grown much more vulnerable with each other, which has cut down on petty dumb arguments that we used to have just because we didn't feel like expressing our emotions, or we didn't feel secure enough or comfortable enough, or like you know, we both can be like, oh, am I being a burden? And we can lean out from the relationship. That was a cool little dance move I hit, for real. Lean out from the relationship. You want to do it, don't you? Yeah, we can both lean out.
I'm not coordinated, y'all.
I feel like that's another reason I feel like we're able to like fall in love over and over again, because we intentionally are trying not to like run our corners,
right?
You know, and build a wall. You know what I'm saying? So
it's that emotional safety for sure. I feel like we've over these past years, like we haven't always done a good job with doing that together, but I feel like in this second relationship of ours, like we've really gotten to the root of like what it means to foster emotional safety for our partner, and obviously for ourselves primarily, but trying to figure out what that looks like whether that's, you know, listening more or like taking breathers when we're upset, like whatever that looks like, and actually implementing that. So yeah, I agree.
that was good. All right, so let's get into this Q&A. Like I said, some of y'all was tripping, but at the same time, I realized we don't tell y'all nothing.
Yeah, I feel like we haven't really like shared anything.
We're not those girls.
We're not those girls.
We are not those girls.
I did like one of those questions though, and I'm ready for
Some of
it.
the questions are pretty